Utmost good faith is a phrase that echoes through our industry. Not only does it underpin our conduct, but allows our communities, government and the insureds to put their trust in what we do. Trust rewarded by our collective drive and passion for our industry. The Mansfield Awards were formed to recognise the far too often unsung heroes of general insurance. Those in claims. Those that deliver the promise of a fair go for those down on their luck. General insurance claims teams are the arbiters of better fortune and the restorers of normality for those that place their trust in their insurance policy. In the dogged pursuit of the best outcome, most strive to achieve their best for each client, no matter the challenges. This event exists to celebrate your professionalism, your drive, and your commitment to our industry. Each award an homage to the tenacity and excellence that you show every day supporting your insureds. Claims. This is your event. This is the Mansfield Awards. Introducing our keynote speaker, Fred Hawke of Clayton Utes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As an old claims manager, may I say it's an honour and a privilege to be invited to address you in the context of this award of the Mansfield Foundation's Claims Excellence rating. It's something that's been dear to my heart because I was 20 years in the insurance industry, and all of that time in claims. It always seemed to me that, contrary to the impression others had that claims were the Cinderella of the company, they're the ones who, they don't make the big budget expense account achievements, they just spend the company's money and they're in the back office. It always seemed to me quite contrary to that, that claims was the fun part of insurance and also the most important part. Claims essentially is the delivery of the company's product. It's about the performance of the insurance contract. Without the claims department, there's not much point in buying insurance. And the underwriters, it always seemed to me, had the harder job in the case, because instead of having to persuade people to part with their hard-earned cash for a grudge purchase in a very competitive market and make budget every year, all the claims department had to do was basically make people happy by spending the company's money. And that seemed to me to be a better part of the equation to be in, frankly. Obviously, you've got to have controls and you've got to have professional excellence in how you do it, but that was taken for granted. An insurance policy serves two purposes. While you've got it in the drawer after you've purchased it, it provides peace of mind for the duration of the contract. And secondly, of course, if you have a claim, then it makes good your loss. And that's the whole point of the exercise. But the effectiveness of the first part, the peace of mind, the reality of the peace of mind depends upon the effectiveness of the second. If the claims delivery isn't as professional and up to scratch and totally in accordance with the company's obligations, and also delivered preferably with a cheerful demeanour and an ungrudging acceptance of the grey areas where the contract might provide cover to the consumer, it might not, but it's better to err on the might side. If that's not delivered, well, then the promise is fairly illusory. So in the claims department, we were the guardians of the company's promise, really, which made us the representatives of it to the community and the guardians of its honour as well, because a company that doesn't keep its promises is as dishonourable as a person who doesn't. There's no other way of putting it. Let me just share with you, by way of setting the scene for this event, two examples of this. Two of the proudest moments of my life during my time in the insurance industry before I came into private legal practice as a claims manager. The first involved a terrible case. It's easy to handle the cases that are just about money, but when it's about a child, you never get used to it. This one involved 3 insurance companies, 3 potential defendants. In a nutshell, my insurance company that I worked for insured the manufacturers of a swimming pool facility. Another insurer installed the installer of the installation contractor of that facility, and the third insurer covered the occupier of the premises, a university, a major Australian university, where that swimming pool was installed. Hot Darwin summer, the swimming pool was closed for maintenance. There's clear signs, the gates are locked, and there's signs up, swimming pool closed for maintenance, do not enter. It's a hot day, and a couple of academics, without thinking too clearly, nevertheless decided they'd take their little girl for a swim. She was about 18 months old, climbed the fence, got into the pool, started splashing around, turned the machinery on, it was turned off, and the skimmer box, for some reason, when the pool was installed, the skimmer box lid had become detached. When my policyholder supplied it, it was attached to the lid, or to the fitting. It wasn't attached, it was lying around on the grass, I think. And they looked at this skimmer box and thought it looked like a potty seat for a little child. They thought it was the place to where the little girl could sit and kick her feet in the water. And so they put the child in the skimmer box, and before they noticed she was distressed, 2/3 of her small intestine was extruded from her body. She was rushed to hospital, and they saved the child, saved her life, and resected her bowel. And she did go on to make a full recovery, albeit with some permanent residual problems. Of course, there's going to be a massive claim and a massive court case, and of course the parents were potentially legally at fault. Whatever you think about morally, legally the parents were certainly exposed to liability and negligence. But of course, all 3 of the entities involved in that loss, the occupier, the university, the manufacturer of the pool, and the installation contractor, were all 3 sued as well. The usual arguments about sharing that liability, whose fault, were developing. Everybody was lawyering up. It was looking like a very ugly fight. The child had to have a next friend appointed and sue the parents, along with all 3 of the potential other defendants. Now, the other 2 claims managers involved in that case, I could see where this was going from the start. Some of the lawyers could, but others were simply looking at it from a purely legalistic perspective. I'm very pleased to say that we managed, the 3 claims managers, or myself and the other 2, to all control our lawyers and control our worst instincts, which was to rigorously defend our own company's position. And we came to a pragmatic solution to the problem, which was not to try and pass all the liability to the parents, or a substantial part of the liability to the parents, which the Australian Capital Territory Court was never going to entertain, regardless of the actual merits of the case on the facts. But we collaborated in a provisional equal three-way division of the total quantum of damages for which the child could expect to recover for future care and medical treatment and managing her needs and everything else. And we just agreed to split that equally between the 3 of us and park the liability issue down the track. We can arbitrate that later if we want and agree to adjust it as between ourselves, but leave the parents out of it, because the court is never going to reduce this child's benefits by reason of her parents' problems. The reality is this is something that paradigm case of what you have insurance for. So as it turned out, we never did bother with the arbitration. We just accepted the 3-way split of liability and moved on. But we got a result, and that claim was resolved within a very short time, as soon as we could essentially get the child's needs assessed. Proud moment. Other case was involving a company which did business overseas, had a directors and officers liability policy, told us late one night that one of their, actually 6, I think, five of their senior executives in a foreign jurisdiction had been rounded up in the small hours by the police and were now facing large, extensive charges for alleged breach of customs regulations and over the import of their product into that jurisdiction. They needed defence costs, they had cash flow problems, they didn't know what they were going to do. The broker had organised a meeting. We had to fly up to Queensland for the meeting. They were expecting an argument. The broker had already primed them for the insurer will want to investigate, they'll reserve their rights, they won't immediately be able to respond to all your questions on coverage, but we'll get them engaged, and I'm sure that this is a responsible insurer. They'll come to the party when they understand their liabilities, they'll honour the policy. The insured was reassured as they could be by that. The broker had primed them well, but they were looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars possibly in legal fees for these people before they could get them off these charges, which I might add turned out to be entirely spurious, and their defence was successful. All 5 of these executives were subsequently acquitted. But in any event, before I flew up there with my boss to meet this significant policyholder, did some numbers on the back of an envelope and came to the conclusion that there was coverage, that on any conceivable analysis of the way the legal costs could play out, it was going to cost us at least $2 million, probably almost certainly much more than that, but at least $2 million was the rock bottom minimum. So we agreed, the boss and I, we just cut a cheque for $2 million and stuck that in the briefcase and took it up with us. And at the opening meeting, when the broker had finished this spiel, basically warning the client not to expect too much, we simply said, well, let's set the scene. We started out by handing over that cheque. Here's a payment on account for your legal costs to date and going forward for a while. Keep an accounting, let us know, keep us a seat at the table and let us know how much you're spending and what you're spending it on, and we'll support you through this claim. Now, it was admittedly a fairly straightforward indemnity, but that was the other moment I'd like to share with you. 2 of the proudest moments in my 20 years as a claims manager. So let's use that for the context for the utmost good faith Lord Mansfield Award for Claims Excellence. Thank you.
Speaking on behalf of our first sponsor, Steadfast, Nick Cook, Executive General Manager of Partner and Broker Services.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the original custodians of the land I stand on today, the Camaragal people, and pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. And secondly, I hope you're well, that your families are well and staying safe and healthy in what is the midst of hopefully a once-in-a-lifetime event. So we need to look out for each other. Looking after each other is absolutely critical at this time. This afternoon, though, is all about the best in claims, acknowledging and celebrating the insurers you've recognised as the best in their category over the last 12 months. So since we came together 12 months ago for these awards, our world, our nation, continue to deal with the effects of COVID-19 and the subsequent variants that have come through since then, with our most populous states, New South Wales and Victoria, being challenged by lockdown across our 2 most populous states. So through all this, we've proven our resilience and professionalism once again. Time and time over the last 18 months, you and our fellow professionals have stepped up in whatever circumstances they've been in to ensure that customers are being looked after and receiving the support they need at the time they need it most. So whilst our national leaders are challenged with finding a pathway, let's remember by us being together, we're stronger for that. So Steadfast are delighted to again sponsor the Mansfield Awards. Congratulations to all this year's finalists. It's wonderful to see the calibre of the companies, and importantly, the people within those companies being recognised. So thank you, and now on to you. So our first award for today is personal lines, an absolutely critical product for all our customers. This year's finalists are Allianz Australia Insurance Limited, Auto and General Services Proprietary Limited, RAA Insurance Limited, and RACV Insurance Limited. So for this year's Mansfield Awards, our winner is Allianz Australia Insurance Limited.
The key emphasis on all dealings with Allianz is the customer.
Congratulations to the Allianz team. Allianz have been dominant in this category, having been a finalist every year of the Mansfield Awards, and this is the 4th time they've won this award. Congratulations, Allianz. Our next award is SME Commercial, Property and Casualty. And our finalists this year are Ansvar Insurance Limited, Hollard Commercial Insurance, Insurance Australia Group Limited, and Vero. And the SME Commercial Property and Casualty Award for this year goes to Vero.
Vero consistently has its claims settled within 15 minutes of lodgement. It is a great service and a burden off my mind when claims move so quickly.
Congratulations to all the Vero team. It's been great to see Vero improve their rating, making a finalist in 2020 and in 2021 winning the award for the first time. Congratulations to all the Vero team.
The Amal Mulia Orphanage in Bengkulu, Indonesia, is the embodiment of the Mansfield Awards ethos. Since the Mansfield Awards inception, the orphanage has been the beneficiary of any profit generated by the event. Here is LMI Group CEO Steve Manning to share the progress made over the last year.
The past 18 months have presented countless challenges for us all, with the virus impacting each of us in its own unique way. Thankfully, however, despite it being so widespread and hard-hitting through Indonesia's regions, the wonderful kids at Amumulia Orphanage have remained safe and well thanks to the careful attention of their carers and teachers alike. Now, despite our inability to travel and visit these amazing kids this year, we were blessed by the willingness of others to step in and manage the much-needed works. A special thank you to Krishna for organising and managing the works in our stead. Krishna, who runs a small travel guide business, has acted as our trusted escort for years, driving us around to pick up supplies and acting as a translator. Krishna has seen over the works despite the impact the virus has had on his own business. Truly a fantastic gentleman. On our last trip to Bengkulu, I was challenged by some of the girls to a game of badminton, one of their favourite games. The game took place in the only place capable of hosting such an event, the road next to the orphanage, a typical location for these type of events. Now, needless to say, we had an absolute ball, and after they took turns wiping the floor with me, the game continued on for hours. Now, while we had some great fun, it was far from an ideal place for children, let alone children with vision and hearing challenges, to play. This formed the basis for an idea of providing a safe place for the kids to play and perfect their already deadly sporting skills. Taking advantage of a vacant space adjacent the orphanage, construction began on a purpose-built sporting area. I'm told the kids absolutely love the space and it's already getting some great use. Along with the sports area, we were able to carry out some vital repairs to the building, which, due to its close proximity to the ocean and the quality of the available building supplies, requires constant upkeep. Finally, and perhaps most excitingly, the children, particularly the blind, absolutely love music, with concerts and practice a regular staple of every day. Now, while the music's not exactly my personal cup of tea, there's no questioning the skill and love that is put into each and every tune. Thankfully, with the help of some locals, we were able to source some musical equipment to allow the kids to further develop their amazing skills. Now, none of this would have been possible without the support of each of you tuning in today, and moreover, our fantastic sponsors, Steadfast and iCare. So from all of us at the Mansfield Awards, thank you.
Speaking on behalf of our second sponsor, iCare, Richard Harding, CEO and Managing Director.
Thank you everyone for tuning in, and to the LMI Group for organising these excellent awards. I'm happy to be here today on behalf of iCare and to be announcing the finalists and winners of 2 award categories: Corporate Property and Casualty and the Specialty category. 2021 marks the 5th year that iCare has sponsored the Mansfield Awards, and this is the first time that I've been part of the event since joining iCare over 8 months ago. At iCare, we care for the people of New South Wales, and we want to build confidence and trust so our communities can thrive. Our goal, our vision, is to try and make the complex simple so our schemes can deliver better outcomes for our people. This year has already seen a great period of change at iCare, and we continue to stand by the Mansfield Awards because it strongly resonates with iCare's ethos and values, particularly when it comes to claims management. One of our key imperatives at iCare is to drive the performance of our service providers to consistently deliver better outcomes for customers, to make positive difference to people's lives, and to learn from the successes and failures to propel constant improvement. In my experience, great claims management comes from when processes and practices are focused on supporting the needs of individual customers in their journey to recover, regardless of the complexity of their claim. And it hinges off the principles of fairness and empathy, transparency and participation, and timeliness and efficiency. Today's awards are about recognising the efforts and dedication of claims professionals who have provided outstanding service, shown passion in supporting their customers through some of the most difficult times seen in a very long while, and who continue to go above and beyond to instil the principles of utmost good faith. Each of the finalists have collectively scored high ratings in a range of areas, including consistently achieving the best results for their customers. This is so important because not only does it deliver better outcomes for those who need it the most, but it increases transparency and competition in the industry by encouraging professionals to achieve higher standards. It is important that in this day and age, we focus on making a difference to the customers we serve, while celebrating each other's achievements along the way. And now for the exciting part, it's time to announce the finalists. In the corporate property and casualty field, the finalists are FM Global, Affiliated FM, Berkshire Hathaway Specialty Insurance Company Limited, Liberty Special Markets, and Zurich Insurance Australia Limited. And the winner is, a big drum roll, Zurich Insurance Australia Limited.
Zurich have very efficient, knowledgeable staff who understand the claims process from a broker's point of view. This is of paramount importance to us.
Zurich has continued to improve its ratings year on year since the start of the Mansfield Awards, making the finals for the first time in 2020 and now finally winning the award. So congratulations to the team at Zurich. Great and outstanding performance. Really great to see you coming through. Moving to the specialty category, the finalists are GT Insurance, Liberty Special Markets, NTI Limited, and Wadena Underwriting Agency. And again, the big drum roll, the winner is NTI Limited.
The team at NTI are one of the easiest insurers to work with. The team is friendly, knowledgeable, and more than fair from beginning to end. They go above and beyond for recoveries and always respond to emails, calls in a timely manner.
It's NTI, no one's really surprised. NTI, the one to beat, I think, fantastic, having been repeated finalist for the last 5 years in this award and having been the winner for 3 times in a row. So that's fantastic. Well done, guys at NTI. Great recognition for your continued focus and passion for your core customer. Please join me in congratulating all the finalists and winners in both categories for their outstanding achievements. Well done.
Presenting the Gold Mansfield Award, Alan Manning, Chairman of LMI Group and co-founder of the Mansfield Awards.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's now come to the pointy end of this year's Mansfield Awards. First of all, I'd like to thank our two sponsors, Steadfast Group Limited and iCare. I've had the privilege of working with both Nick Cook and Richard Harding in separate projects over many years, and I know that their core values and those of their organisation are in line with Lord Mansfield and these awards that are named in his honour. In recognition of the great support that both Steadfast and iCare have provided to the success of the Mansfield Awards, it's my honour to present you both with your own version of the Mansfield Award in recognition of that great support. Thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Fred Hawke from Clayton Utes for his keynote talk today. It's great to see someone who's been in the industry for so long reminisce about the things that have made him proud about our industry, an industry in which we should all be very proud. I'd like to just take a few seconds and talk about why the Mansfields came along. Much has changed in the 50 years since I joined General Insurance. One of the things was that when I first started, there was no such thing as any sort of industry awards. We just did our job and we got on with it. But over the last 10, 15 years, there seems to have been a mass of number of insurance awards. And when I looked at them all, not one had an award for claims. It seemed that everyone got an award, right down to the tea lady, but claims were completely overlooked. And I just thought, perhaps for selfish reasons, because I've been in claims most of my life, that this was just not right. And I keep thinking claims is like goalies, a goalie in any sort of sport. Both my children played field hockey and were goalies in the firsts for their school. And you'd sit there as a parent and you'd watch them, and they might do 10, 15, 20, sometimes spectacular saves, saying this is a proud parent, and then the striker would get one goal and he'd be the hero or she'd be the hero, and the poor old goalie was just left. At other times it could be a penalty hit out and the goalie just missed one, which was an impossible one to get, and suddenly they're the villain. And that kept making me think that's what claims was like. It all changed one day when not our team, but an opposing team actually came up and gave Stephen an award for the best on ground. And that made our team start to realise the importance of the goalie. And I felt that the Mansfield Awards would just sort of bring to senior management and to all of us the importance of claims to our industry. Claims deal with customers in their hour of need, when they're stressed, when their life's work could have just literally gone up in smoke. It could be their home, their car, their business. It could be a liability matter that's threatening every asset that they own. So the Mansfield Awards were formed for the following aims. To recognise those experts in claims who far too often are unsung heroes to me in our industry and many others. They are really unsung heroes. And secondly, to drive some positive change. If people really embrace these awards and want to get it, and it's really pleasing to see that people are getting this, and some insurers have actually made a key performance indicator, actually making the finals of the Mansfields such an important part, that it will drive some positive improvement in our industry, and we're seeing that, as you'll see when I talk about the numbers today. To be fully transparent with the awards, the process is fully documented on Claims Comparison and the Mansfield websites. And to my knowledge, they are the only awards that are conducted under an AFS licence. These awards are given to the best firms based on their performance, not on the way they complete a nomination form. Finally, Claims Comparison is a totally free service, and any company is eligible to be rated at no cost to them or the public. The Mansfield Awards has always been and always will be a not-for-profit event, with the proceeds going to that orphanage just near Fort Marlborough in Bencoolou, very close to the fort, which was the reason for the claim that gave rise to Carter and Boehm. Congratulations to the 4 winners so far. We all wish, sponsors and myself, wish we could have given these awards to you in person, and we hope to be back next year doing that very thing for you. Now, a high-level overview of the ratings. There were 664 products across 21 classes of insurance were rated. Putting aside the new entries or ones that had changed their carrier, 39.7%, nearly 40% of the insurers out there improved their rating. 38.4% stayed the same, while 21.9% sadly their rating fell. This year we had a record number of people completing the survey. What we think will improve the survey and give you better results, more accurate results, is if you have your customers and your brokers complete the survey immediately after the claim's finalised, and do it with each claim rather than just get them to complete it once at the end of the year when their memories might have faded or a different claim may have had a different outcome. We think this is a prudent strategy. And now a surprise. From next year there's going to be an additional award, the Purple Mansfield.
Claims are so often distilled to numbers, words on a report, or money in an account. But a claim is more than that. It's the intangible, the will of spirit in the face of adversity, and the creativity expressed in situations where conventional solutions are not readily to hand. We believe that recognising claims excellence extends beyond the scope of what can be merely measured through numbers, but lies in the selfless acts of passionate insurance professionals. Introducing a new category to the Mansfield Awards, one that recognises the extraordinary feats of generosity, ingenuity and heart. We are proud to present the Purple Mansfield.
Here's the Purple Mansfield. It's a humanitarian award, and it's something that I wanted to introduce for a number of years. As like Fred, there are many times in my career where I've been very proud to be part of the insurance industry. Often it's not a single individual, but an organisation, but sometimes it is an individual. I'd like to share a couple of examples with you. The first is the Egyptian bus rollover. This was 4 busloads of people who were from Australia visiting Egypt, and one of the buses rolled over in a freak accident. Others rushed over to help them, and then the roof of the bus collapsed, so virtually 2 busloads of people were injured. Now these were insured across many insurers, and some people had no insurance at all. But one insurer who had the bulk of the business got in and looked after everyone. And when they came back to Australia, all the children were met with a toy koala. I couldn't have been proud of our industry. Another example was during the Black Saturday bushfires. Who can forget that horrible event? One insurer had a client who had lost his wife in one event and then lost his son in another event, and as a result of that had failed to pay his insurance. 2 weeks later, after the renewal date, his home was destroyed in the fire. The insurer didn't bat an eyelid, they just paid the claim in full. Again, couldn't have been prouder. I haven't named the insurers here. You know who you are, and you should be very proud of your organisation. And it's going to be the same here. We won't be able to always explain exactly what's happened, because what the insurers involved or the individuals involved don't do it for publicity's sake. And in fact, they don't want to be exploited. They do it because it's the right thing. But we believe that this should be acknowledged. So hence the Mansfield Awards. Now, I don't hear about all these things, so this is going to be one where we are going to ask you to complete a nomination form and just explain the story. There's going to be a small committee formed. 2 other people and myself will go through those nominations, and it might not be applied every year, but where we believe it's a truly great story, we would like to recognise this. Now, it also could be that someone has just given their life to claims and they're retiring, and we just want to recognise their position as well for not just doing one event, but just for being an excellent claims officer throughout their career. And there are many out there who fall into this category. More details of this award will be released in the first quarter of 2022. Now to the part of the event that everyone's been waiting for, the announcement of the finalists in the Gold Mansfield Awards for Claims Excellence. I'm pleased to advise that the finalists for the 2021 Mansfield Awards for Claims Excellence are Allianz Australia Insurance Limited, Berkshire Hathaway Specialty Insurance Company Limited, NTI Limited, Vero, and Zurich Insurance Australia Limited. And the winner is Vero.
Vero is by far the benchmark.
Congratulations to Team Vero. It's my honour to pass over to Luke Wenman, Head of Vero Commercial Property and Specialty Claims, to say a few words.
On behalf of the Vero Claims teams, thank you very much. It's a huge honour to receive this award for the second year in a row. I represent 250 people across the commercial, motor, corporate and specialty claims teams who are doing their very best every single day to ensure our clients are provided with the best possible service. We've been building on our strategy to deliver a best-in-class claims service for a number of years, and to receive this award back-to-back is the most reassuring feedback on the progress we've made towards that vision, and we'll continue building on that over the next 12 months. On to thank yous, first of all, to all our team members. This award is testament to your dedication in helping our clients. To the broader Vero team, to our distribution partners, our BDMs, our underwriters, we work as one, and that's a strength for us as a combined brand. To our suppliers, our loss adjusters, our builders, our lawyers, our specialists who are part of the service we provide, this wouldn't be possible without you. And of course, to our brokers and clients who voted for us. This feedback, as I said before, is invaluable for us in developing our future priorities and striving to deliver a best-in-class claims service every time. And to the sponsors, Steadfast, iCare and the LMI Group, these awards wouldn't be possible without you, and we value the support you provide claims across the industry. And finally, Vero's commitment is to deliver a best-in-class claim service over the next 12 months. We want to continue to get your feedback, we want to continue to improve, and hopefully we'll be in the same position next year, and hopefully face-to-face. Thank you.
We're all really looking forward to hosting this in person in 2022. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you for attending the 2021 Mansfield Awards, sponsored by Steadfast and iCare. This broadcast will be available shortly after completion to be rewatched and shared. We encourage all to share it via their company and/or personal social media. Congratulations to all of our finalists and winners.